Now, again, I feel that like teachers, administrators have a particular amount of pressure put on them. Um, and but part of it is they are the mid management. They are responding to the higher management, and usually that higher management is responding to state standards and laws. And so a lot of again, I'm going to go back to the idea that um, testing, the way it has been panned out since No Child Left Behind, and even before that, there was a trend toward that with the culmination of NCLB. The idea was that every kid was going to learn exactly the same thing all the way, and everybody needs by 2012, every kid, whether they were special ed or ELL, they would be passing the standardized assessments. Well, real world, what a shocker, uh, it's not happening. So now there was a punitive element built into NCLB, and what happened then was that schools were threatening for to be shut down, administrators would lose their jobs, teachers would get fired, and so it would be a lose, 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 lose situation. Basically, the kids lose their schools, the teachers lose their jobs, and so do the administrators. And so, by having a top down decisions like that being made, obviously does not play for a democratic system. If we really want to have a system where all people are educated fairly and evenly, it's not through a standardized assessment, but it's through access to information, access to learning, access to be individuals that can learn at their own pace and acquire skills that are relevant to the real world. One of the things that NCOB fails to do is connect to real world problems, real world innovations and solutions. Now, basically, I see that by having a standardized system, you have standard students. You're producing not by standards like a factory. You're not producing innovators. You're not producing the cutting edge of thinkers that we really need for this next few years and further on down the line. Our world is facing many issues that are economic. There's wars all over. There's conflict, and in a lot of places there is no solution in sight. We have issues with the environment. We have major problems that we need to address very systematically, and everybody needs to pitch in these understandings, because it is only through this diverse ways of thinking where we get all these people who think in different ways to be thinking of unique solutions that we're going to come up with the best solutions to a lot of these problems. So one of the things that I see that the problems is that we have taken a wrong turn, a very, very wrong turn in trying to create the system where everybody fits under a bell curve. It's those outliers, those people at the extremes that perhaps that think a little bit differently, that come up with a different idea, a different way of looking at things. In the past, we've seen in history people who have thought of ideas. They violated rules that were existing because they didn't even realize those rules were there, and yet they came up with innovative solutions that created new products. Inventors were that way. A lot of times they didn't see that that it was necessary to design something in the way it had been in the past, so they thought of a different way. And that's the way we need to address education, as to trying to bring this to the fore, trying to create a support for creativity and innovation and just different ways of thinking. A lot of different ideas need to be brought into the field of education in order for it to survive the present climate. The idea that it's too expensive to educate people for jobs that need to be innovative and creative. They need to be innovative and creative in these jobs, and yet we're building these standardized units that are supposed to be little replicable modules that will just be snapped into place somewhere in a job. It's not that way anymore. We've seen all the job market fail. in a lot of ways for the American people. We need to really start doing things in a different way.